Well, we're here, Keith. We made it. We've made it throughout the week thus far. Just a big congratulations to everybody on the team here at MJC,
Yeah.
kind of getting through that day. Really warm day yesterday. It's going to be just a touch cooler today, but
Yeah.
still, everybody's been doing an excellent job, especially on that vet staff, just making sure everybody is coming home safe and sound.
All hands have been on deck. It's been
Yes.
a great job by everybody. Total team effort back at it today. Like you say, a little bit cooler today. Still
Right.
hot. Still hot. I don't know if you can call it cool, but
No.
probably mid 90s when it's all said and done. But
Yes.
if you can make it out here, enjoy some beverages, stay hydrated. And we've got turf and dirt. We've got it all fast and firm. So looking forward to today's card.
No, absolutely. The track is fast and the turf is firm, as expected with this day kind of day. But yeah, really great card. And you're going for a late pick 4, and I'm wondering why, because I feel like it's a tough sequence.
Yeah, it's not the easiest of sequences. I just kind of look and try to keep things reasonable. We've got one there. If you want to add a horse in that last race, we'll get to it later. Do so. Interesting day yesterday. Early pick 5. We had some prices. 2,300 was that, and that included a 1 to 5 shot and like a 3 to 5 shot. So a couple big prices. Bunny Hop at 11 to 1. Mr. Agent right to the front, got it done for Troy Singh. Couldn't make that one out, man.
I did.
He
I
did
had
you?
that one in second.
Oh, that's a good pick. That horse got right to the front and
Yes.
controlled it on a track that's still, you want to be close here, pretty much on the turf and the dirt. We had a horse, Wilma Flintshire, eke it out from off the pace
Yep.
in the nightcap. But yeah, Gino Vella with a couple wins. Good to see that. And we are off to Sunday, finishing up this weekend, hopefully with a bang.
There we go. Let's start things off with that first leg of the early pick 5, which is made in claiming 30,000. 5.5 on the turf here for the 3, 4, and 5-year-olds on the turf. Scratches in the 1, 12, 13, 15, and 16. The 14 will run, and the 11 runs as well, which you have in second. But let's talk about your top selection. Jolly Boss for Brittany and Sheldon Russell. First time on the turf here today.
Before I get to Jolly Boss, we forgot one thing in the opening. Copper Tax, big effort
Yes.
yesterday.
Yes,
Good,
yes, yes.
strong third in the Ohio Derby. Closed up there late, very willing to the wire. So things moving forward for that Gary Cap trainee.
It didn't get the best of starts.
No, didn't.
No. So, yes, like you said, finished up very well. That was good running. That Bill Mott horse, first time against
Yeah.
winners, just sailing to the front there. The race played not quite like it should have been, but not unexpected. So, yeah, very exciting there. Good run by Copper Tax. Keith, the number 3, Jolly
Jolly
Boss,
Boss.
Brittany and Sheldon Russell. First time on the turf. That stat's been kind of stacking it up a little bit, climbing up a little bit for Brittany Russell lately.
Yeah, we've seen the Holly Bosses running well on the turf, and this is the key. Fool to Basarati, who was a stakes winner, won the Stormy Blues last year. A lot of speed. Basarati led it till very late up at Monmouth yesterday with a good number of an 86. So this guy's anything like Basarati. We're going to see speed. Had trouble prior to the break back in November. Returns fresh in for the 37.5. Lasix going on with a good break. Let's pop to the front and go wire to wire. Should be prompted by the 8 no sense nonsense. But video spotlight on the 11. Boxer Rockets. This is a horse that could make a little bit of noise late. Now, I've got the wrong race probably. What race is this?
It's fine. We're taking a
The
look
11th?
at the race. Yes, on the
That
11th.
was my
and
bad.
Effort 2 back.
2 back.
Over at Pimlico, going 5 on an off-the-turf event.
Yes, and battled, showed that speed, and I tell you what, could show a little bit more speed today. Has it in it on the main track. Last time out on the turf at Pimmy, this is all my fault, was rushed,
Fine.
checked early, and I tell you what, finished up quite well. 7, 8 wide, top of the stretch, but Boxer Rockets, we've seen some versatility from this son of Bandbox. Needs that alert break, cannot be hung wide into around the turn. We're going to need Brasino, I think, if he doesn't break super sharp, go drop in, get Poe around the turn, then work back outwards, as we've seen it work so well. Worked well for Charmed yesterday for my man Patrick Noosh. But, yeah, Boxer Rockets, I think, could make an impact late. 3, 11, 5, sail on home, yes. Blinkers going on, a little improvement. You got that old belated action out of the Happy Jaunt race, the same race as Box of Rockets comes out of. Happy Jaunt came back to run well in a much better field against that winner's for the first time. So, yeah, I think I'm going to lean on this breeding here for Jolly Boss to get that started in the opener.
Why not have Sibylline Basarati there in the first 3:11.58 for Keith Fustel. Race number 2 starts the early pick 4 in this claiming 12.5, going 1 mile and 16th on the dirt for the 3-year-olds and up. No scratches here. Keith, you go with the rail horse Tub Tim Siam. Gene Brasino gets the call here, going for win number 2 in a row.
This is a tricky little race for me, but Corrales, this horse is making strides, big strides. 3 back 43 buyer, then a 59 buyer, then a 67, going the right way. This guy got involved early. Good, decent in turn. 24-47 and 4, they picked it up. No let up whatsoever, even through the wire. This horse kept going against, not this time. I think right here, get Poe. Edge of Glory might try to send here from the 3 post for Jamie Ness, but this horse doesn't necessarily need to lead. The Corrales horses, they strike again. Take a shot, stalk and pounce. I don't know if I want to see this horse involved with a little bit better horses dueling early. Sit there, sit chilly, and try to make that move, say, quarter pole home.
Why not? And trust just to the outside for Mikey Gorman, Raul Mena.
Yes.
Also putting in just some good, solid performances ever since we've seen this one kind of get back from that 7 furlong effort.
Yeah, steady improvement. Another one. I don't know if he's quite as quick as the horse just through his outside. Pudge Boy Palace, another one that's going to bring speed to the table for Hugh McMahon. So this could be a little bit of a contested pace, but I look for that one, to kind of make a little move from just off the pace. Another one, Saving Ground, might be interesting how the 1 and the 2 kind of get that Poe through the opening quarter of a mile. 1, 2, 3, Edge of Glory. Yes, Law of the Jungle. Again, just settle. This horse, I think, will make a prolonged, steady run into this field. Couldn't quite catch Quinn Cannon there. That's T.J. Aguirre's horse, right? Yeah, got it done that day for us at 4-1. 7's a user underneath as well. What a hard man, Feded. So I'm going to key around the 1 and the 2 here in race 2.
1, 2, 3, 6. Keith Fustel in race number 2. Race number 3, we're back on the turf here in this restricted allowance, going 1 mile and 16th. And scratches in the 2, 3, and 7 in this 3-year-old and up event. You go with the number 4, Northern TikTok. And let's go ahead and take a look at that effort back in August of last year.
This was in the state bred, same condition, restricted, state bred, state sired. I tell you, against a pretty good field here, right? Consultant, Beyond the Pale, Riccio, we've seen come back to run well. Northern TikTok works it outward, makes a steady progression when it's all said and done. Here we go, last 1/8 of a mile. Got to the off turf race, no good. Freshened up. First try here for Carrie Bryan. She's trying to get on the board at Laurel, but she says some horses run some big races. Probably got to prep somewhere in some field around here in the Mid-Atlantic. Northern TikTok, though, some works at Fair Hill that are encouraging. That away in Crossland, they could control things. So Northern TikTok's got to get to a forward position, I think, by the quarter pole to run those speeds down, because both the 1 and the 5 have positional speed, staying power. That away on the inside, they took the Lasix off last time. Little pickup there and ran really, really big behind Bailout. Crossland probably faced overall a little better horses. Vaccination ran big again. I think that was at Delaware yesterday, the day before. So those 2 go out, 1 and the 5. We'll see if the 4 can lurk and strike here through the lane. I'm right around those 3 here. 6 to pick up the pieces. Yep.
There you go. 4, 5, 1, 6. Keith Fustel there in race number 3. Race number 4 is a maiden claiming 20,000, going 1 mile and 16th on the dirt this time. For the girls 3 to 5. Keith, you have the number 6 Italian War Cry on the outside.
Yeah.
This is still in the barn of Kenny Cox. Angel Cruz gets the call. We haven't seen this one prior to the June effort last time out. This one has had some spacing in between races.
Yeah, last summer had a good effort though behind Hate Blue on the main track, going the 1 turn mile. I think this mile and 16 is a little easier. I think she clears. She just got involved in a much quicker pace last time. Very intense. 22:45 and 4 to 7. It's backed it up. Ease late. Jock stays. Love it. Let's get to the front at a price. See if we can slow things down and carry them wire to wire.
We have a new jock in the number 5 at Mini-Me with Horacio Caramanos. Blinkers on for Tim Keith, and they return back to the dirt here today.
Yeah, I like this move. And 3rd career starters here for Tim Keith. It's positive over the last 5 years, 262 ROI. I like that. Bottom side mainly, if I was a boy, was sprinting. But Mini-Me is half to My Sugar Boo, who did okay, was 3rd at 1 mile and an 8. Not a whole lot in here. We've got some firsters with some major question marks on them. You know, you're looking at 310,000 for Brittany. I don't know where you come up with that one. I'm looking at, if I looked at the page at I don't know how that horse went for that. Must have worked absolutely lights out. But in for the 20. I'm going to try to beat this horse. Mini Me, I think, you know, you look at against a speedy track that day, May 10th, still kind of grinding it out after some early adversity, I think, as a user. 5 or 6 to me, I'll be working around these two in race number 4.
Okay, goes with the experience there in 6-5-4-3 in race number 4. Before we get to race number 5, wanted to highlight that we do also start the Rainbow Pick 6 here in this race, and I take it with a different approach, Keith. They take, these are Rapoli Russell horses. They go to win first time out, especially for Brittany with Rapoli. So they're just kind of cutting their losses, going there. That's where I go ahead and take the single. So, but races number 5 and 6 a bit more competitive. Race number 7 highly competitive. I wish I would have had enough of a budget to add at least 1 or 2, possibly 3 more horses there in race number 7. We will get to that in a moment. But races 8 and 9, I kind of keep it a little bit tighter there with the 3 and the 4 and the 1 and the 4 in our nightcap for the weekend. $32 ticket in the beginning of that Rainbow Pick 6 that does start here in race number 4. But race number 5, as we move on to the late pick 5, that is going to be back on the turf here in the starter optional 20,000, going a mile for the 3-year-olds and up. Keith, you have the number 4 in the last skip for Suzanne Stettinius. Let's go ahead and take a look at that win at Pimlico from the 3/8 onward.
First trainer I saw today angle. That's what we like to use. First trainer, first jock when we walk into the building. There you go. Suzanne Stettinius. Lights out performance off the break here at 7-1. This is a guy who's had some tendencies. He'll tease you a little bit, make some moves in the past. He's really starting to follow through. Leading up to this, the race prior to the layoff was really, really good. Then he comes back with a vengeance. 22-3, solid pace works outward, and really sustains the run nicely over at Pimlico. She can get a horse to come right back and win. Second off a break angle is just fine. I like the flow that we're going to see here for the last sip. The King Cheek speed, top ball. You think he's got to go. Majestic Eagle likes to be close, as does U.S. Constitution. I'm looking for the last sip, the 4, or Cannon's Roar with the blinkers back off. This horse ran one of its best races with boys with the blinks off, going on the go back to make the run into the flow here. One of these two here in race 5. I think they're both going to be making a good run from the quarter pole home.
You also go with the 5 and the 6. You mentioned U.S. Constitution. You think is going to be going for a Majestic Eagle as well. Yeah, plenty of speed in here, which could make it fall apart, which makes Cannon's Roar even a little bit that more attractive with the blinkers off. And Phil Capuano, short stat, but 2 for 4, either first or second, with the blinkers off as of lately as well.
Yeah. He's just kind of making these moves. He's kind of lurking and just not following through. I think against this group, he won't be as close as what he's been of late. I hope he's not. I hope he's a little bit further back, settling 4-5 out of it, because there's some definite speed types need the lead. I don't think he needs it. I think he'll make a run into it. Yes, Cannon's Roar, yes, making that run. U.S. Constitution, he's shown a rating gear in the past here for Trombi. I think he'll be tough. And Majestic Eagle, again, going to have to deal with the flow. Can he keep it going that last eighth of a mile? I'm looking for a closer.
Nope. Let's just to highlight that we do have a bit of wind picking up, so while it will be hot, at least you know there's going to be a wind going on, as we will be right back after this commercial break to discuss the rest of Sunday's card. Back on the dirt here for race number 6. Lovely little maiden special weight that we have here. The 5 furlongs even makes it more interesting for these 2-year-olds. No scratches. Keith, you and I'm surprised you ended up landing on this one. Faster Gator, Anthony Ferrier, Arnaldo Boca Chica on top here for this 5 furlong effort, because that's the way I looked at it.
I got a hunch there's some word spread about this horse. The workouts are good. Vacoma, the stallion, 6 for 11 with first-time starters. What
and
a start.
55%.
What a start for Vekoma here right out of the box. Both Sibs to race are two-time winners. There's a graded stakes winner in this family. The works are forward. Lots of 5/8. The conditioning looks to be there. I'm sure the money's going to show. We'll see. Faster Gator, can he follow through and get it done for Ferry, who's been a little lacking getting to the winner's circle with these firsts? Is he going to go back? Yeah, of late. So maybe he can kind of get back on track here. Up in Flames, video spotlight horse. Very encouraging debut for the Salzman Jr. runner. I thought this was pretty impressive because this horse kind of got in the clear chasing after a rush up start. Here we go. Thanks, guys. Broke pretty straight, true, but had to rush up into it right here. You exert that much first out going into that first 3/16 of a mile, and then the field gets away from you. It's hard to kind of regroup, I would think. I'm not the horse, but I would think it's tough. And you're watching this horse, okay, I'm going to just gather things back up and finish up quite well this last eighth of a mile, gaining some 5 lengths on Rapida Rosa there for Corrales. Second out stat, strong. Last few years, I guess the last couple years, 23% for the 2-year-old maidens. Second out, Up in Flames, benefits from debut. And if things go on and get a little hot and heavy up front, this one can make the run from off the pace as he has proven it.
You have underneath Rapunzel for Nolan, a first-time starter for Nolan Ramsey. Tori Alba gets the call here today. Also leads up with some nice works. Yeah,
comes in here with a bullet. By a stallion spun to run. Not super familiar with, but hey, pay attention. 4 out of the first 5 runners have hit the board. One of them a real big number in debut, a 76 out in California, $67,000 purchase. I'm sure this trainer is capable of getting them ready. I know there's not any stats, but I'm gonna get a hunch. And around some trainers in the past have done quite well with runners going early. So I'll use this one whenever you remember. Trombetta had a runner yesterday run quite well. I thought was going to be down the road to run a little longer distance. This one by Gun Runner. The mare, a lot of turf, mainly turf.
Right.
Won the debut, though. I like that. Second dam, won turf and dirt. Gives me a little promise there for the 5 whenever you remember. A lot of different ways to go. Brittany's got a firster in here. You've got this one. Liam's the great. The blinkers go on. A little spotty when fanned out in debut. Could be the speed from the outside with the blinkers on. Go to the bottom. Schoenthal hit with a firster on the turf the other day. Now comes back with a 2-year-old, the 9, half the low mileage. It was very good
so
early.
Impressive
yeah.
early.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So no, this you can go a lot of different ways in this race. I think there's a ton of talent here that we're going to be seeing. I think this race is going to be a key race for the rest of the summer for the most part. So 3-4-2-5 for Keith Fusel there in race number 6. As we wanted to also discuss the beginning of your late pick 4, we covered your first leg, but what about the rest of it?
Yeah, we did cover it. Okay, let's get to it. 3-4.
Yeah.
All right, 2 deep there. Faster Gator, Up in Flames. Race 7. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Spreadarama there. Yeah, I mean, Chalisha, she's came back and run very well. But I think there's some others in there with a legitimate shot. Race 8, 2 deep, 1 and 7. And we go tonight. And now we got a $10 ticket here. So if you want to add a little bit, I'll tell you who to add if you think you might want to add. Maybe Bandits Warrior. I'm going to single Smooth Pebble. Tough break last time. Golden Can, I think, works. Even Fast Lonnie. You get a $40 ticket, get a couple buddies together. You can afford it. That's the late pick 4.
There we go. $10 ticket late pick 4 with Keith Fusel there as we go on to his second leg in race number 7. And this restricted allowance for the girls this time, going 1 mile and 16th for the 3-year-olds and up. Scratching the 9, beautiful, gorgeous.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and discuss your number 6, Atlas Strong. Tim Woolley, Fergal Lynch. We have a Keith Fusel stat.
Yeah, a little stat here for Tim Woolley, if we can. 3 for 13.
Yep.
6 for 13 in the money. Thanks, guys. Allowance runners on the turf at lovely Laurel Park here, the Laurel Lawn. ROI close to $4. Family of turf here. And the siblings all ran considerably faster on the turf. They showed a little bit of ability on the dirt, but ran much faster on the turf. Some Sunset, Seville Barber. This one has shown some pretty good talent. And, got away with getting this one in for 20 first time out. on the main track. Got it done. It's not an easy thing to do, winning a mile first out. The talent is there. I think this horse jumps up, and if you can kind of project point-wise from a Beyer scale, she's right there with this group as she kind of makes that jump like all of her siblings have. So I like this little woolly runner at 15-1. You got Virgo Lynch, a little bit of a tell there, looking for a very capable rider on the lawn.
Absolutely. And then we have to go against Chalichna, who, if we take a look at that effort last time out, stellar performance back here, returning back to races at Laurel.
Yeah, she's the horse to beat, Cal. I mean, you look at her return, she pops an 81 on that little bit of softer going at Pimlico behind Sun B at 35-1. You knew you weren't going to get that. $1.60-1 last time out. Kind of hampered, a little bit wide, and the flow wasn't super demanding. The girl from Ireland was able to relax, got the jump on her. But look at this effort. Man, is she running hard, working in between horses the last 16th of a mile. Chalichna holding form if she does. Yeah, she's right there. 3-horse, Life, Love, and Laughter, and Naval Empire, the 7. Both Trombies, similar form. A little bit more recent effort for Naval Empire. I think they both can kind of settle in mid-pack and make a run. And don't leave Esperana out of your exactas, tries, supers. This is first time Kieran. She pairs up 73s on the turf, over this turf course, back in the fall against OK fields. You know, that step up from the starter to the first level state bred allowance, that's a little sideways move a lot of times for me. She's going to maybe have to deal with Sultry Sally H. If she clears off, she relaxes. First time Kieran, don't be surprised. So that one will be on my ticket.
No, I fought with this one on and off my top 4 selections, so I totally see it. Glad you mentioned that one. 6-2-3-7 for Keith Fusel there in race number 7. Race number 8 is our feature of today in this allowance optional 62.5, going 3/4 of a mile on the dirt for the 3-year-old fillies. We're going to go ahead and talk about your top selection. Union Suit for Graham Motion, Victor Carrasco, coming out of these decent efforts coming off of the layoff, but a lot to expect out of this one.
Yeah, basically off a year, but it's Graham Motion's world here at Laurel Park. We're just kind of living in it, and what is he, 6 for his first 9 the last couple months at Laurel, 3 months, 8 for 23, 35%, 263 ROI. Yeah, you just kind of give a quick glance at her figures, you're like, no way. But you know what? Making the jump from 2 to 3, and you look how some of these other ones have progressed. This one, she can make a huge jump. Lasix going on, second time in the barn, run against the right kind. She's got a lot of speed. I went back and watched that debut as a 2-year-old at Indy. Completely dictated. Around the turn, threatened a little bit mid-stretch, kicked away, galloped out fine. Little note from Dan, reading his stuff, said the horse might have not been in the best part of the racetrack in the Astoria. Always good to get some pickup from Dan. He had a good pickup on Bunny Hop yesterday, 11-1. Oh, man, he's tough, man. He's really good. But Union Suit has to deal with Susan's mule, but I think if she relaxes, she might be able to pot clear around the turn. Expect improvement for this one, I think, towards the front or on the front for Graham Motion. Go Sherry Go, video spotlight, and man, what a job the Frocks have done with this daughter of Golden Lad. She has just kind of gone up, and up. Talking about Beyer increases, 37, 39, 54, 70 to an 82. I don't know if she's going to come back and run this number right back at the 3/4. But man, Taralba got her to relax behind some good runners here. This Trombetta horse that wins this race ran an 86 in its most recent, the leading up to this dirt race. Relax, taps the brakes a little bit at the 5:16. She works outward, levels off to her, gets over to her correct lead here past the 3/16, and never, ever gives up. Ton of heart for this filly. Toriaba, Frock connection, been good. It's been profitable. I think turning back is fine. She's got speed to target, and she's got that heart to bring a finish.
No. I definitely see it. Again, this is another one that I fought. I originally had this filly on top. I went I just thought this race a couple of different ways. I went all over the place. I love this filly in this spot. I do love this filly, this particular individual, cutting back in distance as well. Another one that does stay the distance, though, is the number 4, Good Night and God Bless. Carl Grusmark, Jamie Rodriguez. Of course, that DQ last time out, that was coming from the beginning rather than the last part of the race. So that's kind of why...
Yeah, the crop violation there. Just unfortunate. There's a number, of uses of the crop the jockeys have, and just kind of got over that number. But Good Night, God Bless. You can kind of trust on her run, and I like the position she's going to get with some other speed inside and just out. She could get a really good inside-out trip to make her run. It's just running well, bucking great for Jerry Robb. Hiccup at Pimmy. Likes Laurel, 5 for 5 in the money with 2 wins. Another one, kind of similar running styles as Goodnight, God bless. So shorter field, very competitive field here in race 8. This A other than optional for the 3-year-olds.
Yeah, bless you for doing a late pick 4 with this
Yes.
sequence, definitely. As we go on to our finale, and we're back on the Laurel lawn here, going 5.5 on the turf for the girls, 3 and up. Scratches in the 3, 8, and 10. Keith, you and I both have the number 4. Smooth Pebble. I believe this is your single on your ticket.
It is. It is. It's a
That's
little
fine.
reach. Yeah.
Diane Marizzi, J-Ron Barbosa, coming off of a win 2 back. Just you maybe bounced a little bit after that effort 2 back.
Yeah, step slow, the comment, 3 wide outside weekend. And her head was kind of moving ever so slightly. She was on that outer post and wasn't quite tied on when the gate sprung. She gave up a couple lengths. She moved up into that flow. It was a good one. Nada, next out winner for Bernie Dunham. A little fade. I wouldn't mind seeing her get an inside covered up trip. She ran really good with that kind of a run 2 races back and spurted away through the gallop out. Some speeds in here, but I think with a good break, she's right up on it. But wouldn't mind seeing some cover. Golden Can, yes. Again, kind of just a little flat last time. Had aim, shifted out a little fade. She works. Been a long time since the winner's circle. The one Bandits Warrior, a little baffled by this move. You got a horse. She's in such good form on the main track. She's tried the turf twice. She's yet to hit the board. Her first try, I went back and looked at it. My comment was kept trying in between. So she's got some ability there. Maybe they were looking for a spot, couldn't quite find one. But she works against this group, no doubt. She's getting along with Torrealba beautifully. So, yeah, I think she'll be sitting right there up or near the lead, ready to strike top of the stretch. 4-6-1-5. Fastlani brings some speed. She hasn't gotten back to as sharp as she once was.
There we have it for our picks here on Today at the Races. Keith, let's dive into those. Let's talk about your best bet of the day, which is in race number 1 on the number 3 Jolly Boss. Brittany and Sheldon Russell here, 7-2. Now 3-1.
Okay. Yeah, kicking it off here. Full to Maserati. That's all I needed to see. If he's not on the lead going into the turn, I'm going to be a little bit concerned. So let's get to the front and take him coast to coast.
Let's also talk about your value play in race number 7 on the number 6, 15-1 morning line on Atlas. A first-time turf starter for Tim Woolley and Fergal Lynch.
Yeah, Chalichina the one to beat in there, but this one, the family, turf. They move up from the dirt to the turf, projecting that same improvement. I think we're going to get it. I don't know if we'll quite get 15, but we might get close to double digits. Fergal Lynch on, a little speed to sit back and make her run. This mare, they might have fooled them. They got away running her, I told you, for 20. She's showing some ability, but definitely Chalichina the horse to beat in there.
There we go. Keith, thank you so much for joining us here on Today at the Races. Certainly plenty of value here that Keith has given. Competitive fields here for Sunday to wrap up this weekend. And we will be seeing you guys next Friday. And we'll go to Dave Rodman for some more changes and scratches.